And the Golden Globe goes to... From Iran, A Separation.
Best film goes to Nader and Simi. Separation.
And the Oscar goes to Separation, Iran, Oscar Farhadi.
Asghar Farhadi is the only director to have won the Academy Award for Best International Feature twice in the 21st century. His first being Iran's first ever international feature Oscar. This makes him the most prestigious Iranian filmmaker working today and one of the leading personalities in world cinema.
Farhadi's films focus on well-meaning people that are ultimately flawed. Despite directly avoiding politics, his films often deal with issues relevant to contemporary Iranians, such as freedom of expression, the conflict of traditional culture in modern-day society, and the influence of the state on the individual. His most recent film, A Hero, made over $2.65 million in the box office and gained an international following through its distribution on Amazon Prime. This film follows Farhadi's distinctive style, focusing on ethical dilemmas and contemporary Iranian urban life.
Throughout his career, Farhadi has drawn criticism from Iranians across the political spectrum. While conservative critics and authorities accuse him of showing Iran through a black lens, leftist critics describe Farhadi as a Vazat Bas, a person who stays in the political centre to avoid criticism from the government and the people.
According to Sayed, an Iranian in exile, filmmakers working today have to compromise their integrity by working under these restrictions. While filmmakers Jafar Panahi and Mohammad Razulov have been imprisoned for their political views, Farhadi has stayed on good terms with the establishment. However, he recently came under international scrutiny when The Hollywood Reporter published an allegation of plagiarism from one of his former students, Azeda Masizada. According to Masizada, Farhadi allegedly stole her idea while she attended a documentary workshop in 2014. He then used this idea to make A Hero, which released in 2021.
Her documentary, All Winners, All Losers, follows Shokri, a prisoner in Shiraz who's imprisoned for a debt he cannot pay, and then finds a purse full of money while on a day pass from prison. He then tries to find the owner in order to return the money back.
While Farhadi's A Hero follows Rahim, a prisoner in Shiraz who's imprisoned for a debt he cannot pay, who finds a handbag full of gold while on leave from prison.
Although the similarities between the two films seem clear from the outside, the issue is complicated by Iranian copyright law, or the lack of it.
Copyright for international films in Iran is largely non-existent, as legally international films cannot be distributed and exhibited in Iran. Despite this, pirated DVDs of international and domestic films are common, with access being widely available.
As Islamic jurists and the Hadith, a record passed down from Muhammad, has no concept of intellectual property, most Islamic legal scholars dismiss it as illegitimate or a Western construct.
Although many Iranians challenge this, saying that the author should be able to enjoy exclusive rights, there is usually no obligation to observe the formalities concerned with artistic property rights in Iran.
However, in March 2022, Masizadeh was successful in attempting to sue Farhadi, while his lawyer asserted that Shokri's story was in the public domain.
However, the magistrate concluded that the story was not public knowledge. A Hero references Rahim's son, who has a stutter. According to Masizada, this character takes inspiration from Shokri's brother, who suffered from a disability, making it impossible to speak. As Shokri was ashamed of this disability being in the public eye, he did not tell anyone apart from Masizada.
The magistrate then found 44 instances where A Hero resembled All Winners, All Losers, or her research. The trial has now been referred to a criminal court where, if Farhadi is found guilty, could land him in prison or force him to transfer her all the income earned by online and theatre screenings. As of today, the case sits in the criminal courts awaiting a final verdict. However, when Masizadeh came forward, so did other collaborators, such as Paul Mohammadi, who claimed Farhadi stole his ideas for a separation.
While at a screenwriting workshop in 2009, Paul Mohammadi wrote a film where a caregiver tries to hide her job from her husband because she does not want to disrespect his honour. Ultimately, her secret is exposed.
This is similar to Razi's character in A Separation. When the film was released in 2011, Paul Mohammadi had not been credited or informed that a similar story would appear in Farhadi's film.
When asked about this, Farhadi instead pointed to his 2006 film Fireworks Wednesday and the portrayal of domestic work in that film.
However, one of the executive producers of A Separation, Negar Eskandarfa, also claimed that Farhadi made her sign a deal that transferred financial rights to him.
According to Eskandarfa, if she tried to fight this deal, international distribution might have been blocked, preventing the film from being nominated for the Foreign Film Oscar, which it was a favourite for.
Because of this, she backdated the distribution agreement, giving Farhadi international rights.
Farhadi's defence throughout the whole trial has been that copyright law is misunderstood. He references reading a news story and having it appear, even subconsciously, in your next work.
This is an issue that is recognisable to all creatives, as we all appropriate personal experiences into our work, whether this is lived experience, conversations from friends, or even tropes from media.
For instance, this video essay would not have been possible without the writings of Rachel Aviv, Mustafa Pourmohammadi, Asghar Farhadi, and the bravery of Azeda Masizada.
This essay is also a derivative of Farhadi's style and themes, as one tiny mistake in Farhadi's past, failing to credit Masizadeh, has spiraled to Farhadi being labelled a fraud, with the threat of jail time hanging over his head.
Ironically, Farhadi has become a character in one of his own films. The conflict of traditional Islamist culture and modern Western copyright law runs through this case, as does Masizadeh's attempt to get justice by challenging the system and an established filmmaker. Since March 2022, when the case was transferred to the criminal courts, it has remained dormant. Mahsa Amini's death, while under the jurisdiction of Iran's morality police, resulted in protests breaking out all over Iran and internationally in solidarity against the Iranian government.
Although Farhadi stood in solidarity with the protests, he did not change his views on Masizadeh. In fact, he cemented them, calling the issue petty. There are more important issues to talk about in Iran right now, he said.
Although Farhadi might be right, his lack of self-awareness is a recurring theme. Masizadeh described how in A Hero the characters elevate some people to an untenable position in which they can't make any errors.